Hey, it is Thursday evening and it's a coffee chat. And I'm just waiting for Chris. I'm gonna see about inviting him in just in case he hasn't seen the notification request. I have a new mic tonight, so let me know if you can hear me. I'm just waiting for him. Good evening. Can you hear me? Can everybody hear me? I'm testing out a new mic, so I'm hoping it works. I'm just waiting for Chris to pop in. You can hear me? Cool. Now the key is, am I going to be able to hear him? Because I had to buy a special thing for my iPhone to stop thinking that it was the earphones and the microphone. So the trick will be to see if I can hear him. If I can't, then I'm going to have to buy a set of earphones to go with it. But, oh well. Chris, I sent you an invite. Sometimes it's wonky. It says that you're unable to join. Let me try this again. Instagram tech issues. It always happens because it's alive, right? Why would there be tech issues? Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, I can't hear you. Dang it. Okay. So can you check? Can you talk now?
Hey, test.
Yeah. So I'm going to have to get, I was testing this out to see if it would work tonight. I'm going to have to get earphones for it.
Damn technology.
Right? I figured I'd try it because I have a lavalier mic. So
Yeah.
special connector that's supposed to tell my iPhone that it's just a microphone, but apparently it's not working. So.
Well, you can't win them all.
I tried.
Yeah, that's all good.
So how are you?
I'm doing pretty good, thank you. Just finished up dinner, so.
Nice.
Yeah.
Some people are saying hi. Carm, is it Carm? Is Carm your name or Viola?
Carm Viola, actually, I just interviewed her on my show, so.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. So for those of you who don't know you, though, did you want to give a little background?
Yeah, well, hey, everyone, I'm Chris Swiech. I am the host of the podcast From the Depths of Darkness to the Light of Success, and I started my show at the beginning of the pandemic last year in March, came around, and I'm the type of person that does not like to just sit around and do nothing with ADHD and, being laid off from work at the beginning of the pandemic. I was like, well, I'm going to start a podcast, and had no clue what the hell I was doing, and just sort of winged it and got some equipment and started a little crowdfund, because money was tight for lots of people at the beginning of the pandemic. So I was grateful that people donated to that, even with my past and stuff, and had trust in me. And, here I am almost a year later, 60 episodes deep, and it's going strong still. So
That's crazy.
yeah.
So you sound like me, because a couple months ago I got this whim. I'm like, I should start an Instagram live series because I'm bored. Sure.
Yeah, no, and it's fun to connect with other people
Yeah,
and just hear their stories and just have good old chats, really, at the end of the day.
exactly. And it gives us something to do too, right?
That too, yes. Keeps us out of trouble.
Yeah, for sure. So the podcast, have you been focusing on specific topics, or you just been focusing on stories in general?
At first, I was just gonna focus, as I'm in recovery, like I said, and stuff, and after 25 plus years of doing drugs and getting into shit, I guess you could say, in a nicer way, it was time to just give that up. But I wanted to give back and give people a platform and a voice, to share their story, because everyone has a story. I don't care what anyone says, and everyone's story to me is valuable, and doesn't matter what walk of life you come from, like I have told you and stuff. And so it's just been nice to hear. At first it was just gonna be around mental health and addictions, but then I just no, everyone's voice is valuable at the end of the day. And so I've had so many different walks of life on my show, And
Mhm.
it's just been nice to hear their stories. I've had like psychotherapists. Last night I interviewed a sexologist. It was
Mhm.
awesome, just to hear different points of view from everywhere.
For sure, because like nobody knows everything, and we're always learning. At least, I like to think we're always learning, right? So it's
Yeah.
to get to hear experts' opinions on stuff or just other perspectives on certain topics,
No,
especially since we're all going through like the same kind of struggle right now, being at home with this stupid virus.
yeah, whatever you want to call it. It does suck. I'm grateful that I still get to go into my job and stuff. I definitely am grateful for that, but it's been a struggle for others. So it's nice just to check in on everyone else though too, to make sure everyone's okay as well. Like, because I want to break the stigma, especially around like mental health,
Mhm.
addictions. There's a bigger pandemic out there because I've seen a rise in mental health issues, especially through this pandemic. People having to isolate because sometimes isolating is not good either. And
Especially if you're isolating. I can't talk. Isolating in a house by yourself. Like it's one thing to be isolating and like your family's at home with you where you can still kind of like talk through the door or something. It's completely different if you're all on your own. Yeah.
yeah, so I encourage everyone to like reach out. Like every day I wake up, and whether it's not always the same people, but I like to send a message out to everyone. Like or a video message is nice too. They get to see someone's face and just ask them how they're
Yeah.
doing because it's nice to hear that. And I enjoy getting that back too. Like sometimes I haven't heard from people in a long time and they'll just check in on me and it's nice to get that.
For sure. Have you been doing that through like Instagram or do you use like a special app to do that?
No, I do it through Instagram or like if I have someone's number or
Mhm.
send a voice message or whatnot. But yeah, no, I just try to reach out to a few people every morning and try and switch it up. And people that are on here, I reach out to lots of people though, and
Uh,
yeah,
That's really incredible. That's amazing that you do that. I used to do that with my company, and I had this app called Bonjoro, which means like hello in French, and you could set it up so that when people signed up for your email list, you'd get a notification and you could film a personal video for them and send it to them. And then I wrote an article about it for Roar Magazine about putting the human touch back into business, but same kind of concept, like just checking in on people and adding that personal touch and making sure people are okay if they need anything, right? So
yeah.
just another idea if you have a company too, check out Bonjoro. You could do that for your customers. Yeah.
That is a good idea too. And like I've even at work, I'm a salesman, and sometimes it's nice, during this pandemic, we're by appointment only at the car dealership, but we've added a personal touch to our email leads though too. Like they can see you then and just send a video. Hey, introduce yourself, a little quick 30-second video. Then at least they get to see who they're dealing with, which is nice.
Yeah, for sure. Have you found any changes in like big changes in how you're doing things? Or have they just
Uh,
been like sort of like tweaks?
well, it's like by appointment only, so we're seeing like it's a little bit of a slower traffic. But I do
Yeah.
find the people that do make appointments are coming in and serious about buying, I guess, in a sense. But
Yeah.
you get those other people that try to
Mm.
do everything from home. I can't do everything from. I can do it to a certain point, but you do have to come in and sign papers and stuff like that. But then they're still a little leery or whatever. But I can only
Right.
do so much. We haven't got
It's
that much that far advanced yet with signing papers over the internet and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, we've come a long way. I feel sometimes you can sign them all if you have special signing apps. Like here in Canada, I can actually sign a lot of the stuff through Adobe or other special signing apps without the
Yeah,
bank, which is nice. But yeah, some stuff you do have to go in to places for because some stuff can't be done over the internet. They have to actually have like a physically signed documentation
yeah,
form.
especially dealing with banks and stuff like that. And
Exactly. You're going to a certain point.
yeah,
DocuSign, right? Yeah. Heather said DocuSign. Yeah, that's one of them you can use. Adobe will allow you to sign stuff, but it's not like secure signing. It's just basically you're signing on your own computer type stuff. Yeah.
yeah.
Hi to everyone that's joining. We're talking to Chris tonight. I'm glad that you said your last name because I sometimes butcher last names, and I kept thinking that your name was Swiech because the
Hey,
I. Yeah.
it's all good. I get it all the time.
Do you?
Or yeah, oh yeah, or people spell it wrong. It's spelled Swick. Or as my son says, like,
Yeah.
what does Swick rhyme with, Dad? That's how they make fun of me at school. Like, yeah, Swick the dick. But
Hi. I would maybe it's because of where I live, but I would pronounce the IE as Swiech, right?
yeah, oh, I get it all the time. It's all good.
Like, how do you get it? But like, I think it's like everybody that has a name usually has something messed up with it. Like, I constantly have people dropping the DI and calling me Jennifer Garner. So
Wasn't it Gardner?
it's Gardner, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they say it really fast and then go Jen Gardner. Like, oh, yeah, I'm like I'm that like, I'm an actress, but I'm not that actress.
Fair enough. I do like your little the fight thing with the women. That's awesome.
Yeah, that came about. I don't know if you follow the real Zoe Bell. So she's a stunt lady. She did the Kill Bill stunts. She's
Okay.
Yeah, she's awesome. So last year around this time, she got a group of all the A-list actresses together, and they did their own version of that. And that's where I kind of got the idea from. I'm like, ever since I saw that, I've been wanting to do my own. So I got a group of ladies together. I sent out a mass Instagram message and saw who was like willing to do this with me, and I got 17 ladies who actually wanted to do it, which was really cool. And yeah, we put it together, and now everyone's so excited that now for the next one we have a group of, I think it's 28 for round
Nice.
for a summer fight version of that. So that'll be coming out end of June. Yeah.
Nice. And how do you coordinate that?
Um, so it's fairly basic. it so we have just basically a Google Drive doc, and it has different columns, and they put in their name, their scene number, what their move is, and what their reaction is to. So that the following person knows what they're reacting to, and then they put in their next move, and then so on and so on. So we follow that Google sheet, and then they all send them to me, and then I edit them all together based on their scene numbers, and then put it all together in different formats, one horizontal, one vertical, depending on the platform, and then they go ahead and they post it. So it it's just a matter of making sure all the stuff lines up, and the Google sheet really helps with that, so that the next person knows what they're reacting to and where, right? And then the ladies can all talk to each other in the Instagram group just if they need to clarify anything. So yeah.
No, it was really good. I like the way you put it together. The first one I saw there a little bit back. So
Yeah, and it was. I think the biggest struggle on that one was actually finding the music to fit for it.
which one did you use again?
It was from Audio Jungle. It was like a punk rock type of thing. There's no lyrics or anything to it, but I bought the commercial license for it just so that we could use it on multiple platforms. Um, but it seemed to fit with it. But now I'm gonna have to do that again for the next one. Is find a song that works with the summer one. But the ladies are really excited about it, and I'm really excited to see it put together because it's gonna be bigger. And we're involving a guy this time too for some extra comedic relief. I don't know if you know Nir Gazinski. So he is a comedic, I can't talk, a comedian, and he posts some really cool videos, and he's got like 3 characters, but they're all him, but they're different personalities if you watch
Yeah.
his. So we're involving him and his 3 characters in the stunt fight this time. So
Nice. So he's gonna be 3 different like scenes.
he'll be like put in throughout the ladies for some comedic relief and stuff. Yeah. So I'm excited.
Nice.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It's something fun to do, right? Well, we're in lockdown again right now, so
Yeah, I guess you're in the Toronto area, and I'm not too far down the road. So.
yeah, I'm about an hour from Toronto, but all of Ontario is in a 6-week lockdown right now. So
Oh, I know. I'm not. I'm down in the Guelph area. So.
oh yeah, so you guys, I think different cities though have extra rules, don't they?
No, we're all the same, really.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
it's extra. Oh, maybe it's Quebec that's different. It's like
Yeah, I
Australia.
think they're different, but like we can't go like interprovincial. It's so silly, but
Yeah,
the joys.
oh, fun. Yeah, lockdown, lockdown.
So what are you doing for yourself during the lockdown and stuff just to stay sane?
Um, sane. I don't know what sane is. I decided to take on rebranding myself because I don't have enough to do. And then between then I have my 4-year-old, so he keeps me busy, and then my 11-year-old's doing school from home. So it's not like I don't have stuff to do. Oh, and then we took in a new dog. So
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, how was that going?
yeah, she's really good. Her name's Lakota. We call her Coda for short. She's a 6-year-old rescued German Shepherd. Her owners basically abandoned her on a farm, left her in a kennel with no food and stuff. The son-in-law found her. My oldest son is friends with the son-in-law, and they asked if we would take her, and she's here now. And like, she's so well mannered. I've never heard her whine or bark or anything. She doesn't beg for food. She loves going for walks. The only thing that we're working on correcting is that she's a little reactive to other dogs. So we're working on correcting that one little thing. But other than that, she's like, she's lays around. She just wants to be with people, and she's starting to get playful now that she's used to us, right? Because the first few days she's a little anxious. But yeah, she's really adjusting well. So
Well, that's good.
yeah, so it's just an impromptu dog. We were looking for one back at Christmas time, and then it didn't work out. So it worked out. So
Nice.
yeah, what's happening in your life? What's new?
There isn't too much new really. Like it's same old, same old. We did I did just post about it. We did just book a trip hoping to be able to go on it at the end of June out to Kelowna. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. I've never been out to BC, so if anyone's been out to BC, let me know how it is.
Yeah, I have never been to BC. My daughter's friends moved out that way, and I know they really like it there. So
Yeah, we're going out to visit my partner's uncle out in Kelowna, so I definitely am looking forward to that.
nice. Yeah, and so you've got the podcast, and then you're doing sales. You said you're at a car dealership, right?
Yeah, I'm in car sales.
Yeah. So with the podcast, do you have any specific goals with that, or is that just going to remain like a side hobby?
It's just like a passion project at the moment. Like I've definitely like really started networking though, and part of a couple of network groups and chats on Instagram, but we sort of just like help one another out and feeding off each other's posts and checking out each other's podcasts, and it's been really nice that
Yeah.
way. Like I've done it all myself really. The only thing I don't do for the podcast is the putting it together and just fixing up the sound. Other than that, I do everything myself and have been teaching myself that. And if it takes off somewhere, it takes off. But I do have a couple ideas in mind for later on this year. Like I found a radio station in the area here. It's a local like community radio station, but you can actually rent blocks. So for $30 a month, which is not much,
Wow.
you can get an hour time slot every one hour a week on this radio station. And so I'm thinking of doing like a live show once a week on there on this FM radio station. So
Really cool. That's a neat
yeah,
idea. Yeah, and
yeah.
so thing maybe eventually this turns into like a full-time thing for you, or
If it does, it does. Like I'm not looking to get rich off it. It's just
yeah.
more of like a passion project in a sense.
Yeah.
It's just like I don't know, want to say a lifelong passion project. Who knows? But like, it's just an ongoing passion project that I thoroughly enjoy doing. Like I record every Wednesdays are my day off during the week. So I record 3 episodes a day on Wednesdays, every
Yeah.
Wednesday. And then I release Mondays and Fridays. I release an episode twice a week. So
I admire you for doing that, because just doing one of these a week, I'm like, okay. Because
well, at least you don't have to edit.
well, I do edit. Yeah, I do all my own
Okay.
editing. Yeah. So
No, but I meant for this though too. Or do you edit this too?
yeah. Well,
Okay.
the posted after we're done here just goes to Instagram, but then I download it and then I reformat it for YouTube, Vimeo, my blog and stuff. And then I pull
Nice.
clips from it, and then I take the audio from it and I put it on Spotify as a podcast, and then I write a blog post about it. So
Okay. I didn't realize that.
yeah. So I basically repurpose it everywhere I can. So that in itself is a bit of a process. So, and then I
Oh,
do
I
show,
feel ya.
yeah. Yeah, the show notes I think are the most time consuming because you're basically rewatching the whole thing and then you're marking the timestamps and what we were talking about. So,
I'll
yeah.
be honest, I haven't got into show notes yet, and you know, if I do, I do. But like I sort of talk about like the way I started. So a
Mm.
little bit ago, I have a good friend who John Maxim, who's allowed me like he became a full time musician, quit his job of 17 years. You know, he had a band for 13 years. They sort of broke up, and he decided after that I'm gonna go full time with the musician thing, and that's what he did last year. And
Yeah.
so he started releasing singles, and I said, I like that one song, and now that he owns the rights to all his songs, so he's like, well,
Mm.
let's plug it in your podcast. So he did the first intro, then we just revamped it and
Yeah.
used one of his newer singles. But now I sort of do an intro and an outro, so I sort of give a little taste of what this episode's going to be about and the value you're going to get from it, and then the outro I'll talk about that episode sort of thing and give a couple shout outs and then talk about the next week's episode or the next episode and what
Yeah.
it is sort of going to be about, which is nice. So
Have you had like any, or what would be your favorite top three guests so far?
I'm gonna have to say my favorite top three, eh? That's now you're making me pick out of 60. I do have, but okay. Before I go there, but I do have one of my like I got one little pointer out before I go there though. But like I actually record like so many, like 3 a week. So I just want to say to any podcasters, anyone listening, I suggest
Mm.
banking episodes too, because then you're not, if you
Mm.
don't want to do record that week, you can actually just take a week off
Yeah.
or a couple of weeks off and you have stuff already. So keep them in the bank for any new podcasters out there listening to this.
Yeah.
I just find that really key. And so then you're not rushing into things and stuff like that. But my
Well,
top
that's awesome.
three, I will have to say, so he has actually a book coming out soon.
Okay.
If you go over and check out the founders of We Are All One Story, his name's
Okay.
Jose Lugo and Ralph de Quebec, actually. So Jose and Ralph, I did them both on the same episode. So I had
Okay.
two of them on at the same time. But so they're brothers from
Mm.
LA. One went the gang route, so he was a Crip gang member in LA for many years.
Okay.
And then the other brother was a U.S. Marine. He lost both his legs in Afghanistan, and he came back. He didn't know nothing about hockey, but he ended up he's on the U.S. Paralympic Olympic
Mm.
team now. Has won gold once or twice since he's been on it. But I'd have to say
Yeah.
Jose and him were one of my favorite guests just because of the raw and authenticity that they, just show in their story. And Jose just came out with his memoir now too. So,
That's awesome.
and then
So,
another
what's your?
another guest, another favorite guest. I would have to say another one. I had the drummer from Sum 41 on.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what the heck's his name now? I can't. He's on the tip of my tongue. But anyways, the drummer from Sum 41, and
Yeah.
also one of my favorite guests. Another good one was Nut Vo. So he has an awesome story. If anyone wants to go check him out, his name's Nut Vo, but he was sentenced to life in prison in LA for 16 years old.
Mm.
He was part of a triple homicide, but he was it a year or two ago, they abolished the Youth Life Sentence Act in the States, so he ended up getting free after serving like 21 years or whatever. And so he got out and got a second chance at life, and he's like out. Was through this program called Positive Change. So we're in
Yeah.
the States, I don't know if you've heard of this program or not, but so they bring dogs into the prison and have prisoners train these dogs. They're
Yeah.
adopted dogs and runaways and stray dogs that they bring in, and they get to retrain them to go back out and go to homes and stuff like that. So he was part of this program, and now he's like running parts of this
Mm.
program on the outside now, which is really nice to see, though.
Yeah. That's incredible. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure to tag or at least find the episode numbers, or if you can find the episode numbers, I will make sure to link those below this afterwards too.
Yeah,
If
no
you want,
problem.
yeah. And then has I don't know if I want to ask you if there's been like your least favorite one because I feel like that's just outing people. I feel we should leave that alone.
I don't have a least favorite one because they're all like different in their own ways, because like I said, everyone has a story, and I
Yeah.
feel everyone's story is valid, valuable, and stuff, because
Yeah.
telling your story makes you feel more validated, and the more vulnerable you are, and you feel that you can share your story and stuff like that and put yourself out there. I find that courage in itself.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes there's like hiccups and stuff too. Have you ever found that? I know like my least favorite coffee chat was when my 4-year-old was having a meltdown.
Well, I haven't had that, because I have my kids every other weekend, so they're not here during the week usually. So I
Yeah.
don't usually have that problem, but sometimes I'll have the cat, like last night, whining beside me because he
Yeah.
has no food in his dish, but I can't just get up and
Yeah. Well, I loved all that. Just that one night, I felt so bad, and he had the meltdown right as I asked the person what their best advice to their younger self was. I'm like, I feel like a horrible person. So I'm actually, it was Michael Haskins. I'm actually having him back on at the end of May because I'm like, I feel so bad that you were interrupted. So I'm gonna be back on free.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, at least he's willing to come back on. I've
Oh yeah,
actually I've had to do that though too, like, or the audio didn't go as planned, sort of thing. And usually people are pretty good, I find, when you're honest with them and just say, hey,
mm,
the audio was really crappy, or it didn't work out, this time. The joys of
mm.
technology, you can't do people in person and stuff like that. So
Yeah. Oh, technology, fun stuff. I've learned now backups upon backups of stuff. So I will back them up to my external hard drive, and I back it up to Dropbox, and I back it up to OneDrive because I've had the thing where my hard drive went on a laptop, and that wasn't fun. So,
well, it's nice too when I record with mine. I use a thing called Zencaster, which I absolutely love,
yeah,
and but it's connected instead of, like, so you don't, because it won't go right to your hard drive on a Mac. So
yeah,
it's actually nice. You can actually connect the Zencaster right to your Google Drive, so it just drops the audio files into there. So at least I have a backup plan.
yeah. My iPhone fights with my PC, so
Usually they don't like each other.
I have Apple everything except computer. I'm a PC girl for computer, but yeah, like I have iPads and I have iPhones. I prefer those over Androids. Don't listen to Android people. But I prefer PC for computers. That's what I grew up on and I'm used to it. Like I had to work, when I was a marketing person at a company, I had to work on a Mac. And it's going from working on a Mac and then going home and working on PC. It annoyed me because that's bought. PC seems simpler for computer wise. I don't know if anybody feels the same way. But yeah.
Not me. After going to a Mac and stuff, it's hard to go back.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know
I
if
just find it much easier. I think I find the stuff much easier to use, and
yeah.
I just find it better for, like, doing, like, the creative stuff on a Mac, to be honest. But
Okay. Yeah, the creative stuff, I understand that. Yeah, for the Mac. And that's one reason we were using it in the marketing department at the company. It was just like I said, because I grew up on PC and like I had that at that point, like I don't know, 10, 15 years of PC built into me, and then all of a sudden I'm like, this feels so odd. Where do I find this?
but I definitely cannot use the mouses on the Mac or whatever. I went out and bought a different mouse that feels comfortable, a nice gaming mouse.
Okay, so before I forget, I want to ask you too, what is your best advice to your younger self?
Best advice to my younger self. Well, I really wish I would have spoke more about my feelings when I was younger, and and I'm not going to take away from myself for the road I took, I guess, to get to where I am today, but I wish I would have not bottled up my feelings. Could be the best advice, like, spoke out sooner, I guess.
Hmm. Yeah, so just basically like not kept it to yourself, not because when you keep things inside, you feel like you're gonna explode type thing.
Yeah, and that's what happened a lot of the time, where I just kept suppressing those feelings, the things that happened to me when I was younger. So I just wish I would have, spoke out then. But it's hard when you're a child though too, or like a younger person to speak out about when these things do happen to you though.
Yeah, for sure. And just being able to feel like you can confide in an adult. Sometimes people don't have adults in their lives they can confide in. Yeah.
No, and it is hard though sometimes as a child to come out about whatever has happened to you. So I encourage anyone listening as well, like don't be afraid to talk about your feelings and stuff like that because it is okay to not be okay.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. And if you don't feel comfortable talking to an adult, there is services like Kids Help Phone, and I believe there's a few more of them now. I'm gonna look them up and put them below here too.
Well, there's like a
That
suicide prevention line. Or there's even, as a recovering addict myself, there's also lines you can call if you're using at the time you're using, so you can actually have someone safe on the phone with you in case you do happen to overdose, or it's just like more of a safe consumption line, and then you have that comfortability if you don't feel safe using by yourself, which
and
is nice too.
I could have sworn too that I had read that there's free therapy lines too now because of the pandemic. That
Yeah,
you
no,
can.
there is. It's like actually, sorry, that Carm Viola, she's actually a psychotherapist, specializes in children's psychotherapy, but there is actually free anxiety therapy, like
Mhm.
things you have to go on the internet and sign up, but there's free anxiety. I don't know exactly what it was, but there's things that are free that are being put on by the government if you can sign up online and stuff like that, but it's free help for anxiety and depression and stuff like that, but therapy, like you were saying as well.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. And it's like lately, I know people are getting exhausted by the virus, and I feel that if you're already in a bad state of mind, it can take you down even further. So utilizing those types of services can be very helpful to pull you kind of back up to at least some form of a level where you can function. Yeah.
Yeah, and also using like communicating your feelings to your partner or your family or people you trust in. Like I'm so grateful that I've found a therapist now. Like I'm so open about that too. Like to peel back the layers and just working on my communication and working on myself too in general and how to be a better parent and those types of things though too, because I was not present for so many years. And so I'm just grateful to have that support of a
Mhm.
therapist. My partner's my biggest supporter. I honestly have to give a huge shout out to Megan on here. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for her. Honestly, I think I would have relapsed if she didn't stick around to hold my hand, and on my last relapse. So I definitely kudos to her though. So
um, yeah, and I was gonna say too that if you don't feel comfortable talking on the phone, there are apps now where you can chat with a therapist too.
yeah, what the heck? I see it advertised all the time, but I know exactly what you're talking about. I can't. Geez, we keep talking about these things. Can't remember. We both can't remember. Can
Yeah,
you?
but if you go to the Google Store or the iTunes Store and you just put in therapy, it'll come up with all the different apps that offer chat services for in your area. And
Nice.
then you pay like a monthly fee, I think, if you want to constantly talk to somebody. So
Yeah, and you know what? It's worth it though. Honestly, like
yeah,
we got to normalize these things because therapy does help if you want it to. Like it's like anything. If you want the help, but you got to also put in the work though too. It's not just going and sitting and listening to a therapist, and if you leave and leave everything at the door, well, it's not going to work obviously. But you got to be willing to put in the work that he or she is giving you to go home to do. There's homework every week.
yeah, for sure. That's not like you go and you're fixed.
No, no.
But that can be a misconception with anything, though, right? Where, like, when people talk about manifesting, it's not just like you think about it, it's that you start believing in something to the point where then you start taking inspired action to go do that thing. Yeah.
Exactly. You got to manifest. Like, yeah, like people always think manifesting's a crock of shit. It isn't though. If you constantly do it, or you know what I mean, like, or like I like to write down things like you write out or affirmations or write out your goals, but write it as if you've actually done it already. You know what I mean? Like that's how I sort of got to the starting point of my podcast and stuff like that. You know, like I had a goal in mind, how many I wanted to have, but I just wrote it down every day.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, like I get off track sometimes with writing a journal or writing things down, but I'm trying to start every morning again and write down a gratitude list, write down some affirmations, make a little list every morning to do things. You know what I mean? Read 10 pages of your book, do those types of things before you head out the door or whatever you do.
Yeah. Yeah, I took a course, well, it's not really a course, it was a program because it was weekly and monthly coaching for 4 months. It's all based on mindset, neuro-linguistic programming, reprogramming your brain for success, that type of stuff. Even we got into like self-hypnosis, which isn't as scary as it sounds, people. It's just basically relaxing to the point where you can reprogram your brain by like imagining things, right? So you go into a very relaxed state, basically the state that you would be in before you go to sleep, so that your brain is more susceptible to allowing you to imagine things that have already happened, so that you start being the person that you need to be in order to do the things that you need to do to have the things that you want. So a lot of people go, if I had money, then I could do this, and then this would happen, right? Where it's actually the reverse. It's who do I have to be? What do I have to do to then have the things that I want? So people have it backwards. They usually do have, do, be, and it's actually be, do, have. Who do I have to be first? And what do I have to do in order to have the things that I want? Instead of, oh, I have to have this in order to do that thing. It's like, no, you have to start being the person in order to get that thing. It's like,
Exactly. Or surround yourself with the people you want to be like, or, you know, don't surround yourself with people that you don't want to be like, because you're just going to be like those people and you're not going to go anywhere. You know, you got to take that stuff out of your life and bring in the positivity, not even just positivity, but surround yourself, like I said, with the people that you want to be like, or start watching the videos or, you know, people that you admire or mentor and stuff like that, and people that you want to be like, start watching their videos over and over, reading their stuff.
Yeah, and if you're feeling stuck right now too, another great analogy that came up in that program for me was just seeing perspective. A lot of us get into this horizontal tunnel vision, right, where it's just thought after thought, like, oh, I don't have money, so I'm not gonna be able to pay my bills, and it's just like horizontal thinking going one direction. You're seeing one level, and you're basically looking up all these skyscrapers, right, and you can't see anything. Where if you go from the same address to the top of that building, you can see everything, right? So it's changing your level of thinking and getting a different perspective to be able to solve your problem.
I like that. That's actually really good. You know, walk the whole building or walk the whole street and check out everywhere to see which vantage point you want to be at.
Yeah, it's that Einstein quote, right? Like, no problem can be solved from the same level of thinking that created it, right? So we have to go to a different level of thinking in order to solve our problems, to get unstuck.
I like it. I like it, Jen.
That's how my brain works the majority of the time. I'm not have negative thoughts. It's once you grasp these concepts and you work on it, like it's not just like, oh, I'm gonna think that and it's gonna happen. It's a constant. We learn through repetition, right? Like we
exactly routine.
Yeah, but once you get to that point of repeating those processes, you can pull yourself out of negative thinking quicker, right?
No, it is true. Like because you don't want to always be reactive or whatever, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you got to think before you react, you know, and that's another thing I'm learning too, because, you know, reaction and action and inaction and.
Yeah, we can't control what's happening around us, but we can control how we react to it. And that's easier said than done sometimes.
Yeah, circle of control. That's one thing I am learning.
Yeah.
You can control you, but you can't control everyone else.
Yeah, well, you'd like this podcast episode. Jim Fortin's the one I took that program from, and he actually has a podcast episode that control is actually an illusion.
Huh, I have to check it out. Jim Fortin.
Jim Fortin, yeah, and he's got a transformational podcast. It's it's not for everybody, but if you're more open-minded and you're willing to go to that type of thinking, it's actually really informative and makes a lot of sense. And it can really help change the way things are happening in your life. So,
Well,
yeah,
definitely, I'll have to check it out. Thank you.
I really enjoyed his program. His brother's also a shaman. So,
Nice. Yeah, I've had like I said, it's crazy that you say a shaman. I've had a little bit of everything on the show. I've had a shaman on the show, so I haven't released that episode yet, but so I don't want to give away too much of it. But it was interesting to talk to her, that's for sure.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I enjoy learning about that stuff, which is another reason I really enjoy the program because he brought some of his brother's teachings into that program. So,
Okay. And
uh,
now is he American?
yes, he's American. I believe he lives in Nevada. I think he was moving the last time I saw on his profile. So,
Okay.
yeah. I think he was in Texas though at one point. I'd have to look it up again. But yeah, he is in the States though. Yeah.
Nice. I'll have to definitely check out that episode. Thank you.
Yeah, and anyone else, yeah, Jim Fortin, or go check out, of course, Chris's podcast. Is why we're here to begin with. And I will, like I said, Chris and I will find those episode numbers that he was talking about, his 3 favorites, and I will put them below in the notes at some point after this replay is posted.
And one more, I did chat with one more too. But Alicia McCarvell. I don't know if you follow her on Instagram, but she's a huge TikToker and huge
Okay.
Instagrammer. But she's Canadian as well, but just a very awesome, awesome woman as well. Like she just so open and authentic, and you got to go check her out if you don't follow her on Instagram. Huge TikToker too. So,
Nice. Yeah, I will for sure go check her out.
but it was a fun episode. Just she's very about the body positive and stuff like that, and like her and her husband, they're hilarious though too, and it's just nice to see someone doing what she's doing and just
Yeah,
doesn't give a fuck. You get her true authentic self every day on Instagram or on social media. What you see is what you get in real life though too. So
that's awesome. Yeah, body positivity, I feel, is getting more and more prominent. Like it's never been like on the backside, but I feel like it's even more prominent now that we're in a lockdown because so many people have moved online and there's so many different people coming out now online to talk about these things that weren't before. So I feel like the body positivity and being yourself has really become like a front issue now all over the internet.
and it's nice to see because there shouldn't be any reason that people should be shamed for the way they look or feel. Whether it's size, race, whatever it is. No one should be shamed ever. Everyone should be treated equally.
For sure. Yeah, I totally agree. That's awesome though that she's doing that. So I will link her episode too. Does anyone have any questions for Chris? I was scroll back. Michael J. Peterson says it's beautiful. I'm assuming he means your podcast.
I think he meant Kelowna, BC.
Oh, did he? Oh, okay. DocuSign, I already saw Heather's. I was checking back. Carm Viola says you're awesome. I think I can. Oh, people telling me that they can hear me because of my mic. I just couldn't hear you.
No worries. Well, next time you do it, maybe it'll be fixed.
Yeah, I think I just need to put in headphones. I was trying to avoid the headphones, but whatever. Fine. I'll get headphones.
Yeah.
It helps. I use this because the room I'm in is very echoey because it's the basement. So I was trying to reduce the echo.
Good old Instagram Live. That's the only downfall about it is that you can't really hook up microphones. There's a couple mics you can hook up, little like wireless mics and stuff that you can hook right up to your phone that apparently sound pretty good. So it sounds like that's what you had there.
Yeah, it does hook to my phone. It's just then I can hear you. So basically to
Oh,
avoid my
okay.
yeah. So I have to put the earphones into the other connector so that I can actually hear and then have the mic too, which is unfortunate because I was hoping to just use it without the earphones.
Yeah. Well, you can't have your
Oh,
cake and eat it too.
right. So you said every Monday and Friday. It's
Yeah,
called the
7
Depths of
a.m. Eastern time.
Okay, 7 a.m. Eastern Time, Depths of Dark Side podcast. I will link his username below this video as well, so that you can hop on over there and listen to those episodes. We will be putting the episode numbers below that he was talking about as well. If you can find those for me, or I can find them at one point, either one of us will find them and we'll put them below.
I'll send them over to you.
And then we will be putting in, well, I will be putting in the show notes at some point. Chris doesn't have to do that. Get to a certain part of this episode. It just makes it easier, especially when they're this long, that then I can just jump to. And if you have any questions, if you're watching the replay, just tag Chris and I'm sure he'll hop over and answer them too.
Yeah, I have no problem answering questions. And, if anyone would ever like to be a guest on my show, feel free to reach out to me over on Instagram, or you can email me, depthsofdarkside@gmail.com, and I'd be happy to have you on my show. So
that's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Chris. And I will look forward to talking to you too on the podcast in a couple of weeks.
Yes, I look forward to that as well.
Great. Thank you so much. Have an amazing evening.
Thanks. You too, Jen. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.